Hello.
Hey guys, welcome back to a lightning fast budget with us. This video is only going to be 14 minutes and 38 seconds because I ended up having to take a sick day at work. I got super sick and that was reflected on this paycheck. So we have a little less to work with than normal. So I expect Val's going to click like 3 buttons, say assign, and we're going to find out we don't have enough money for everything.
I feel like people like when we go down line by line.
Yeah.
Okay. $1,400 for rent.
Perfect. We have a house.
We have a roof over our heads.
But
Cell
we
phone
have
bills.
food in our bellies.
Hold on. Cell phone bills.
Ah, yes. Priorities first.
What does our bill do?
No
I think
idea.
it's $279 due by the 29th. Okay. Daycare. We're going to circle back to that.
Mm-hmm.
YNAB and Amazon. We could wait for that. Okay, groceries. We currently have nothing left. We spent the last of it this morning.
Okay.
So to fully fund our goal, we would need another $400, which I think we should. Originally, I had this set to $1,100 a month, but I was like, oh, we're on track to spend like way less than that. So I put it to $900 a month.
Okay.
Do you think we could do that? That leaves us $400 left for the month, and there's 10 days left in the month.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay.
It's like $40 a day. We got this. Gas, we just gassed up, so that should be okay for the rest of the month, right? Another full tank.
Maybe throw an extra $20 in there.
Okay. Coffee, as much as I would like to fund more of that, I think we'll just leave it. Spending money, we're going to get another $50, or do you want to do $40?
Yeah, let's do 50.
Okay, another $50 each of spending money. I saw this in a YNAB video where I heard it from Hannah, an episode that they do over there. Her and her husband had their own like master categories, and then underneath that they had the things that they wanted. So I've broken out like I got a Hobonichi and I want to get like the photo books again, which are called chat books. I want to save up for an iPhone. Cody has kept his GeForce Now subscription. So these are things that would come out of our spending money.
And the GeForce Now may go away. I don't know. I didn't really have a whole ton of time or bandwidth to play at all while I was up at work. But it's kind of one of those things that when I do have the time and capacity to do it, I'm going to be really upset if it's not available, you know?
Yeah, and it's only like $14 a month, right? So, but essentially how this would work is like if I want to buy the chat books, I know that I need $15.75, so I'd move $15.75 down to the chat books category, and this way things aren't getting lost in our budget, and we're spending our money on our things instead of spending.
We have a habit of buying things subscription basis with our spending money, and then after a couple of months of that, it kind of just becomes one of the household subscriptions, and then it comes out of the household budget, not our spending money budget.
Yeah, like chat books and the GeForce Now subscription. So we've added those in there. Dining out, we're doing really good with this. We've spent $67 so far this month. So we've got $30 in there right now, and then it says we would need another $52.
Let's put an extra. We should put a little bit in there. Freya was asking me to take her to Boston Pizza.
Okay, if I fund it, that gives us $82. That's essentially enough for one trip to BP's, and that's it.
Okay.
So I think we should either not go to BP's, or we do one trip to BP's, and then we'll have to bring snacks with us to the airport when we go.
Either way is fine.
I really want to try and see if we can lower our dining out, because that's what always kills us.
Well, I mean, many things always kill us, but in the death of 1,000 cuts, the bigger cut is dining out.
Entertainment, we've got $20 in there. Our goal is $30, so I can either add $10 more in here, or we can just leave it at $20. I don't know if we're going to go to a movie this month.
Yeah,
Probably
I don't know.
not.
Probably not. There's no movies playing that I want to see.
So I'll just readjust this down to 20, and then that way we can let this roll over into next month.
Okay.
Family fun, we've got $20. We would need another $20 to fully fund it. That would give us $40 to do like hide and seek.
Yeah, we do want to do hide and seek this time off. I think we should fund that, yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then So the last things would be our sinking funds and holidays, which is a lot. And if we're going to do daycare, then we kind of need that money for daycare.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Cody and I are hemming and hawing. Like, if we take the kids out of daycare, we can fully fund all of these things. And
with a little left over.
And we would still have money left over. Whereas if I fund the daycare, then I have no money for next month's bills. I have no money for sinking funds.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, part of this is because Cody was sick. If he had not been sick, we'd have an extra $600 to budget with.
It's so cool how when you work an extra day, it's like $100 difference. But when you take a day off, it's a $500 difference.
Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of like in this weird place where I feel like we're consistently coming back to this conversation of, do we keep the kids in daycare or do we pull them out? And I know you guys like to hear like our thought process behind it, so I think we'll probably talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
so you can kind of hear it.
The main struggle with the daycare thing is the kids really like the daycare. And it was so sad pulling them out of their last daycare. Mm-hmm. It was very, very sad. I cried. Because I do that.
The teachers all wrote goodbye cards, and the kids would say that they miss their friends. And it is hard because it's two things, right? Like, and there's two sides to this coin. On the one hand, it's good for the kids because they make friends, they have structure, they have routine, they are entertained all day, they're doing crafts, all of these things. And we get our time, right? So like when Cody's home, we get quality time together one-on-one because we don't have like parents and friends that can like regularly, dependably, reliably watch our kids for us. We have a lot of people with health issues and autoimmune diseases and a lot of twins in our friend group and like newborn twins and everybody with young kids. So we're all kind of busy juggling our own lives. And like we all get together, we all visit, we all see each other. But in terms of just like dropping our kids off with someone or having them watch our kids.
There's no one that we can be like, hey, do you mind taking the kids for an afternoon while Val and I do some running around and have a date or something?
So we kind of rely on daycare for that. And also because Cody works out of the home for a week at a time, sometimes
the
longer.
Decision to pull the kids out of daycare disproportionately affects Val because she's home with the kids all the time. I'm here part-time. And half the time is a lot better than a lot of people manage. But I'm still gone a lot.
And so, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around how people really make this work. Because I know there's a lot of stay-at-home moms who stay home and raise their kids, sometimes with families of 3 or more. And they manage to get all the housework done. And they manage to get all the laundry done. And they manage to do all of these things. And entertain their kids and cook all of these meals and do all of these craft times.
And plant the garden and preserve this and run around for that and make crafts for this.
And don't get me wrong, I want to be that mom. I really want to be that mom. I don't currently have that capacity.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think there's some underlying health issues here as well that kind of maybe hold me back a little more, and I know I need to get that figured out. But like the idea of taking the kids home full time with me and living up to, you know, maybe I need to readjust my standards too, but like living up to this idea of what I want our household to look like, I think is very difficult. And Cody and I are very much on the same page of like, we want to be full-time parents. We want to have the kids at home full-time.
Yeah, I didn't have kids so that somebody else could raise them.
Yeah, and I mean, like, no shade to the daycare. They're fantastic. They're wonderful.
The daycare is amazing.
People are great.
There are wonderful daycares out there, and we have been very lucky to find 2 amazing daycares.
Yeah, but again, it comes back to, you know, we want to raise our children with our morals and our values and our life views, and it's hard to do that when they're gone with somebody else every day, all day. Yeah,
it's the struggle between, like, as I want to raise my kids, it's my value to have my kids home and be raised by us. I seriously doubt that I have the capacity, you know? It's like, it's a lot just on the weekends when they're home full time. And I guess it's one of those things that we could adjust into a routine and we could figure some stuff out.
Yeah. And but some of the things that
it seems extremely daunting right now.
Some of the things that we had put in our budget is we created a family fun category. And we actually looked into local passes that we could get, like to museums, to parks, indoor and outdoor, and like annually, you know, like $180, and we can go as many times as we want in a year, versus, you know, $40 for the family every time, or $50 every time, right? So like we could save up and buy a lot of these passes and fill the day with doing educational or fun things outside of the house. It is just a lot, though.
Yeah.
And it's...
Well, and the kids love doing stuff outside, too. If we had more room in the budget, we could have a garden.
Yeah.
And flowers.
Or we could actually buy, like, climbing structures for outside in the basement.
Yeah, we could enroll them in dance or martial arts or gymnastics or whatever. We could make that happen. We'd have the room for it.
But then we also have that added burden now, too, of, like, having to take them places and be there and take time out of the day.
For sure, they're not going to play hockey. That shit is expensive, and you got to go all over the damn province.
And it stinks.
Yeah, and it don't smell good.
But this is kind of the conversation in our household. I'd be curious from you guys, especially if you're currently new parents or you've been through this phase already. Maybe you were a stay-at-home parent. Maybe you had them in daycare. Like, what are your thoughts? What are things that you wish you had done or hadn't done? Do you wish they were in daycare or hadn't been in daycare? Was daycare a blessing? Was daycare, you know, did you have them in daycare and then pull them out? Like, let us know in the comments. I'm trying to, like, I think we're just looking for new perspectives and looking at it at different lenses that we haven't maybe considered.
Yeah, because mathematically, it makes sense to bring the kids home. But, like, the house is quiet right now, guys.
I think what it comes down...
Messes aren't spontaneously occurring around us. It's wonderful.
I think what it comes down to is, like, financially, and when it comes to our goals and our values and what we want, like, deep down, is that we want to bring the kids home. But I think the stress of everyday life, our mental and emotional states, our peace of mind at home, and one of our values being quality time together, and I think that's the big thing, is that we don't see a way to still have quality time alone and together if we bring the kids home. I think if we had, like, grandparents who were regularly available, it might be a little different. We might be like, okay, we can drop the kids off at grandma or grandpa's for a day. I think that would make the decision a little easier. So I think knowing that we're making that sacrifice, we're sacrificing this time together to have the kids home. And I mean, I've looked into part-time daycare, all these things. It's not cheaper. In fact, it's more expensive to do part-time daycare. Don't ask me how and why they've managed to structure it this way, but... It's
because we lose the government incentive.
Part of my conspiracy theory that they want to separate children from their families in order to indoctrinate them, but that's...
I mean...
We're a little...
Looks like a duck, walks like a duck, sounds like a duck.
But they do. They really make it hard. It used to be that it was hard to put your kids in daycare because it was so expensive, and now it's almost too easy. And now we've fallen into this trap. And now I'm like, what do we do?
It's borderline impossible to have a one-income family with... Yeah. It just... I don't know.
We have a lot of thoughts. We have a lot of concerns.
I'm trying very hard not to be bitter about past generations that seem to have had it a lot easier in a lot of ways with the support system around and the availability of certain things, the capacity to do certain things that just doesn't feel available anymore, you know?
I think the other thing that we have to consider, and Cody and I keep forgetting about this, and then we come back to it and we're like, oh, right, yeah, okay, so we have to do this, is that right now he brings home an extra $600 a month because he doesn't have to contribute to CPP and EI for the rest of the year. So come January...
We're going to have to pull the kids out anyway.
We'd have to pull them out anyways, because it's either that or if we keep them in, we literally have to sacrifice everything. Right? So, like, the bills still get paid. We still have a bit of spending money. We still have a roof over our heads. But no Christmas, no Halloween, no Thanksgiving, no birthdays, no sinking funds, no emergency fund. And, like, that's the thing that traps you. And we keep learning this lesson the hard way.
I mean, the fact that we have to keep learning it would indicate that maybe we haven't learned it yet.
Yeah. So I think, I don't know, it's 10 days to the end of the month. So I don't think the daycare will let us just pull them out. I mean, they might.
I don't know. If you don't ask, it's always a no.
So maybe we'll budget this. We'll earmark it for the daycare because that is the responsible thing to do. And then I guess we'll just try to pay as many bills next month because we don't get paid again until the 6th. Right? So that alone, that bill due on the 1st eats up basically all that money.
And talking about different conspiracies and whatever, little man's birthday's coming up. We bought him a present. It was delivered. Fucking porch pirate stole it. And the brand new security camera that we had installed did not show the drop-off or the thief.
Just one day, this camera just didn't work.
A picture from Amazon being like, no, there it is on your step. Sucks to be you.
And it is the right address. It's the right house. It was on our doorstep. So anyways, there's all our money gone. I will have to sell some things to make the rest of the bills for the first of the month. This is my bad. I preemptively spent some money before we realized that Cody was going to be off work. Had I have known, I wouldn't have spent it, and then we wouldn't. This is also a lesson that I'm continually relearning, is that just do not spend money you don't have. YNAB teaches this. Do not spend money that you do not have. But in my brain, I was like, it's in the budget. I can wham it. So whack-a-mole, move it from this category to this category. I can spend the money, and then it'll be okay because on payday, we'll just refill the category. Mm-hmm. And you should not do that either. Not on a regular basis, anyways. So, yeah.
And that was that.
This is...
I wonder if we're still recording.
We are, yeah.
Okay.
Here. Sometimes it stops recording.
Yeah, we got like a beta software issue, and sometimes just one program doesn't like the other program. I don't know.
Just seeing this, I'm like, what feels worse? Never having enough money for all the things that we want, or having our kids home full time? I'm like, when you put it like that...
I think we could adjust to having them home full time, and having them more money would make it more enjoyable.
Yeah.
And like... you know, when they're melting down in the morning and I just want them to shut up so I can drink my coffee, whatever, like, it's not that big a deal if we don't have to be anywhere by a certain time.
Yes.
Right? We can just... I don't know. I think bringing them home isn't going to be as bad as we think it's going to be.
I think so, too.
But I also think that I really like a quiet house, and I can't promise that one of these days I'm not just going to throw hands with the kid that asked for peanut butter toast cut into squares and then is melting down because they in fact got peanut butter toast cut into squares.
But I think back to when we did pull them out of daycare before we moved. They were out for like a month and a bit. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was still rough.
That's right. We've done this before.
Yeah, it was rough. It kind of sucked, but it was not as bad as I thought it was. And we were in an apartment, right? We didn't really have anywhere to go. We didn't have room for the kids to play. We were kind of stuck inside. I had to pay to go places. I was spending like $100 a month on indoor playgrounds.
Guys, I swear, there's $100 cover charge just for leaving your damn house in the morning.
Yeah, like it was getting to be a lot. And like the kitchen wasn't great for cooking in.
No.
Yeah, I feel like it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And in all the ways that it sucked, a lot of that is resolved in the house. Right? We have a basement, we have a backyard, we have like a place for them to stand while I'm cooking and prepping meals. And I feel like we're probably at a place where we could make it work. And that was only for a month, right? Like realistically, it's probably going to take 3 to 6 months to really get a routine and a groove.
Yeah.
Freya's potty trained now. I don't know if we told you guys that.
She's potty trained now.
Yeah, she's totally out of diapers. Totally potty trained. That one amazing.
The last time I was just at work for a week, and then I was home for a week, and then the last time I was at work, I was like 4 or 5 days into my shift when Val called me up and was like, oh yeah, the daycare told me to stop putting her in diapers except for bedtime, and because like we're potty training now. Yeah. And she's fucking got it, guys. Yeah. Like, she's waking up dry. She's not having accidents. No. The only thing she's a little shaky on is cleaning up after number 2. And
I think that's pretty normal at
and
that
I
age.
really, really wish we could get her on board with getting off of the little kid potty and onto the big kid potty.
She is using the big kid potty, though.
For number 2, though.
Did she use the little one today for number 2?
I don't know.
I don't think she went number 2 today. But yeah, she's slowly moving in that direction. Yeah. Like, she is using it more frequently. What was the thought that I had that I wanted to finish there? Oh, and then about like the peanut butter toast and stuff, right? Like we have to remember too that this is a phase that we are in, and the kids will outgrow this stage.
It is a season, not a lifetime.
That's right. Like
at a certain point, they're going to be old enough for me to just be like, eat it or don't.
Yeah, I feel like in another year things will look very differently. For
I
us. Hope. We'll be going through a lot of this with Gunnar then at that point, but then Freya will be in a different place. You know, like they kind of. I don't know. I think you're right. I think we're probably making it out to be worse than it would be in our heads.
So, it sounds like we're pulling them out?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can hear and see the reluctance in our voices, though. As we said that, both of us are cringing. We're like, but no, though.
Yeah.
We'll probably continue to talk about this.
I don't know. I feel like it's the kind of thing that selfishly I'm like, but if they're home full time, then I can't play any of my video games or do any of the stuff that I like to do or have any of my hobbies.
But we have the evenings for that.
But, because, like, I already don't play video games or have hobbies.
And realistically, like, when you're home, we do most of our quality time in the evenings anyways. Mm-hmm. Like, I know we do quality time in the day, but that's, like, we run errands.
We hang out alone together.
Yeah, we hang out alone together, and usually it's, like, we go run errands and stuff like that, right? Like, it's stuff that we can take the kids with anyways. Me too.
I don't like running errands with the kids.
It's a lot less enjoyable.
It is.
But still, like, one of us can stay at home with the kids and the other one can go out and run errands.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like, when it comes to us, like, playing games together or watching a show together, it's always in the evenings. Mm-hmm. I don't think we ever do that during the day.
I think we've watched, like, 5 episodes during the day since we've had kids.
Mm-hmm. So, like, in 4 years.
Yeah.
So, I think it'll be okay. I think we can make it work.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this has probably been a long, rambly video, but...
Yeah, I feel like there's been very little value in this, but if you disagree with me, make sure you hit that like button. If you agree with me, make sure you hit that dislike button twice. Subscribe if you haven't. Make sure you ring the bell so that we get... you find out when we do these, because we're fairly inconsistent.
I mean, we're kind of consistent. It's
the next Budget With Us video is going to be late or just Val because I picked up a little bit of overtime at work. Mm-hmm. Fortunately. It's one of the downsides to having fly in, fly out is that when the opportunity comes up for like an extra 2 days, I can't take it because I'm stuck on a 7-day flight cycle. But this time I was able to get a ride out. So the next video is going to be a little delayed, I think. So ring the bell so that you know when that comes out. Mm-hmm. But... yeah, other than that, thank you guys for coming along. We love you guys very much. Comment on anything you heard that you think was smart or stupid. Or if you have other perspective. And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye. Bye.